Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is where you're at. Welcome to Collider Dailies. I'm John Aljets, and joining me is Steve. Steve, how you doing?
I'm good. You have a lot of energy, and I'm impressed.
I am 100% faking it. I am so tired. I feel like that's the norm for me, though, is just being tired. But I can get hyped up for Collider Dailies. I'm always excited to do this show, so you know, I can push a little bit for this.
Sure. Also, it's Monday morning, and
For most people, that would mean being well rested after the weekend, but we aren't most people.
I don't think most people are well rested after the weekend. I think
Well,
Monday
okay.
just starts up. But anyway,
Theor- Theoretically, they're supposed to be, but
no,
doesn't always work out that way.
no.
But anyways, today we've got just a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about how John has yet to silence his phone. We're going to talk about the Critics' Choice Awards. We're going to talk about Neve Campbell potentially returning to Scream and what she would need to do so. But first, we're going to start off the show with the box office numbers from this weekend. Wow, this is these numbers. Here's the thing. Box office numbers confuse me these days, because it used to be that numbers like these would be really bad or not as great, but the box office has been kind of on a downturn, so here we are. Domestically, this last weekend we had Mean Girls pulling in $28 million, The Beekeeper at $16.8 million, Wonka staying strong in there at 8.4. Pulling in fourth was Anyone But You at 6.9 million, and rounding out our top five was Migration at 6.2. Now, of the two big releases this weekend being Mean Girls and The Beekeeper. Steve, have you seen either of them? I'm pretty sure you've seen
I
The
have.
Beekeeper.
I was not offered a screening of Mean Girls, so I have not seen it. I'm sure people at Paramount are loving hearing me say that. But I just wasn't, so I never saw it, and my schedule's been. I'm not going to go to the. No. And then with The Beekeeper, we did a screening of that with David Ayer in IMAX, and I'm going to say this like I've been saying nonstop. The Beekeeper's really good. It is an elevated version of the Jason Statham movie because of David Ayer, and it's a really fun, like, action type movie, and it's over the top, and it's stupid, and it's like it's what I want out of a Jason Statham movie. It's totally worth seeing. It is absolutely one of his better movies.
I will say, watching the trailer and everything, I didn't expect a lot from it, but you're not the only person that I've heard say great things about it. So it is definitely kind of a little bit of a surprise to me that it seems to be as good as it is, but I'm definitely going to check it out when I get some time. I just have to, get the time to go and see it.
I just want to point out David Ayer is a good director. And what's more, the other thing is, and I brought this up in our event, is that if you watch Jason Statham movies, whether it be Fast and Furious or any other film, he's one of those people, let's just say, that doesn't like to get punched. He's always the guy who, he's like Superman in a fight scene. And listen, I'm a big fan of Jason Statham, but it's just not fun when he can just destroy everyone. And one of the things I like about Beekeeper is somehow David convinced him to actually take some damage and get, hit and things. And specifically, there's a brutal fight scene in this mirrored hallway, and it's really good. And that's one of the reasons why the movie works, is because Jason is not just unstoppable, except the scenes he is, and it works for this role.
I definitely do feel like David Ayer is one of those directors that doesn't get the respect that he probably deserves. Like he's a lot better than I feel like a lot of people give him credit for, which I don't know what maybe it's all just Suicide Squad rubbing off and people got a bad taste in their mouth from that. But he's quite good at what he does.
You should watch, if you haven't seen Fury or End of Watch. Both of those films are real good. Obviously, he wrote Training Day. There's a bunch of others, but no, I mean, he is, he's a talented filmmaker.
Yeah, so it's pretty pretty good. You should definitely go and check that out. Now, Mean Girls, this one seems to be an interesting thing because on Twitter over the weekend, one of the big like discussions that a lot of people were having about this movie is a lot of people walking out of it because they didn't realize it was a musical.
Sure.
So that's
I don't understand walking out of a movie because it's a musical.
some people really hate musicals, Steve.
I don't understand it, but look, this is it's an issue because Hollywood does tend to hide when it's a musical,
Yeah.
and because they just do. And I personally like musicals, but I also think that you should advertise that it's a musical before you get into the theater, so people aren't doing like a bait and switch. But I would not walk out of a movie.
Yeah, I think the only thing about the marketing for this Mean Girls movie that like hinted that it was a musical, if you weren't in the know that it's based off of the stage play, the stage musical, is the I think the like the A in Mean Girls, the logo has a musical note, and that's like it. That's your only signifier on any of the branding that it might be a musical. It's this really weird thing about Hollywood feeling like they have to hide musicals. Maybe if they didn't, maybe more musical fans would actually go and see musicals, and
See,
maybe Mean Girls would have had a bigger box office pull.
See, here's the thing. I think all the musical people, they know it's a musical because there's only so many musicals being made. It's about getting other people to come see it. But I mean, look, the fact is that I got a press release from Paramount. I guess Mean Girls talk cost 36 million, and over the 4 day, I think it made like 34 or something. So I mean, in a week it's going to be, well, maybe not a week, but in 2 weeks it'll be profitable. So
Yeah.
Paramount's fine. It's not a movie that cost $100 million.
I mean,
So
yeah, I'm not crying bomb or anything like that, but
yeah,
it's just it's one of those weird things about musicals. I just do not fully understand why they're not upfront about it, but that's just me. And of course, we're talking about the rest of our top five. Wonka has some legs. I didn't
yeah.
expect it to be staying in the top five for as long as it had, but that movie, it's got to be coming to the end of its theatrical run pretty
That's
close, right?
that's that's the thing. Again, I got a press release, but it broke 500 million yesterday worldwide, which
Yeah.
is like a huge number nowadays because nothing is making a billion anymore. Like a billion is now going to be a very rare number, but 500 million is a big number. And that, I mean, especially for Wonka, and uh, Warner Brothers should be very happy with that number.
Yeah, and as people in the chat have pulled or have pointed out, Wonka's legs in the UK is ridiculous. That's all in the game saying that. It is definitely doing the most just purely internationally. It definitely seems like Europe has really picked up and ran with it. So good on them. I still
Yep.
haven't seen it yet.
I still haven't seen it either. It's on my list. I swear.
There's just so much stuff to watch that it's really, really hard
Well,
to
the
get
other
through
thing
everything.
is, like, as you know, I do interviews for television and movies. So I've been watching a lot of TV shows that haven't come out yet for interviews that are coming up. And anyway, these are, I mean, everyone cry me a river with my, that I couldn't see Wonka. But I am going to watch it, like in a
Yeah,
theater.
it is definitely on the list. I just got to get around to it. Uh, I have no segue into our second topic today.
Sure.
I'm not even going to try to force one. Our second topic for today and our title topic for this episode is Neve Campbell has said that she is open to returning to Scream. But she does have some caveats. So she actually exited the franchise after Scream 5 because she felt that she wasn't paid fairly for the role. We don't know necessarily what those numbers are. Maybe she felt like she should have been continuing to be paid the lead salary when she was much more of a supporting character in that film. I don't know. We may never know, but she has said that she will be open to returning to Scream under the right circumstances, adding, if they were to come back to me, it would have to be with a respectful offer that I felt was in keeping with what I bring to this franchise. That's fair.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with knowing your worth and advocating for your worth. All good things. The question I have though is, Do you think that if she were to come back, that would do anything to stem the sort of bleeding that Scream 7 is currently sitting at? Because it's in shambles as it is currently.
Well, and that's the reason why there's two options for them with everything that's going on. And one is you go to Neve, you make her the lead in the movie, you pay her like the lead in the film, and you surround her with a new group, and that new group hopefully takes over. You have Neve essentially bringing, like pivoting in this direction. Nev's the lead. She's surrounded by people. Then the surrounding people are Scream 8 and 9 or whatever, and you figure that out before you start making it. Like, where do you ultimately want to go? That's option one. And option two is you just do something completely new for Scream 7, or you reboot it from the ground up. But I mean, they're in deep trouble, and there's no way they're keeping their release date or whatever release date they had. That's what I think you have to do. And I think bringing Neve in and paying her like the lead is probably what you should do. And then, like I said, surround her. That's the smart maneuver, I think, with the situation they're in.
I mean, I think if they are 100% gung ho about still continuing with it, then yeah, I definitely do think that is the play. That being said, I think I have to agree with T&J Omaha over in chat, who said, nah, they got to press pause on this movie until things settle. I think that maybe they should just let it sit for a while. Like maybe just walk away from Scream. They're not going to, because I understand how the business works. Yeah. But maybe that is the smarter play.
They're never going to pause on this, because this is a financial windfall for Spyglass and the people that make it. And they make these movies on a budget, and they always perform. And it's not going to pause. It's the horror genre is just so popular at the box office, and the cost of production of these movies versus the profit, it's just a money-making opportunity. And people love going to watch these movies. So like I said, it's just a question of you're either rebooting or you're staying and you're doing another direction. But like what they have right now, they have their work cut out for them. Just pay Neve and surround her with new people. That's the way to go.
I think out of the available options, as I said, that is definitely the best way to go. But we'll just have to wait and see. We have a little while before Scream 7 even gets off the ground and running. As I said, it's in shambles currently. So we'll just have to wait and see. One more topic for today. The Critics' Choice Awards was last night, correct? It was last night?
Believe me, it was.
The last 36 hours for me has been a blur, so I'm missing chunks of time. The Critics' Choice Award was last night, and Steve, you were actually there. You want to talk a little bit about that? What is it like to go to an award show like that?
Well, first of all, I bought a tuxedo because I figure I'm in the Critics' Choice group, so I figured this will not be my only award show. God willing, one day I'll make it to the Oscars. Never been offered a ticket, invited. That's like the dream. But I will say that I had heard a lot about the award show, and it's pretty crazy because as you imagine, when you come in, all the actors and the celebrities are like doing the red carpet. I walked in on like the inner path, but everyone sort of goes through the same hangar doors. So if you're standing there's like a ton of people watching the celebrities come in, but I'm like standing there and it's like just a who's who of Hollywood, Harrison Ford walking by, or Robert Downey Jr. or Christopher Nolan, or anyone who was at the award show last night was walking by. And, like I've interviewed a lot of people. So like I go up to people and I say hi, and it's like everyone's in a great mood and friendly. And the thing about it is that everyone's just in a great mood and friendly. So the other thing is, when you get inside the award show, what happens is it's very crowded in the tent, and everyone's sitting at their tables, and like Oppenheimer's at a table, or like Loki's at a table, Marvel, and everyone's at these tables. But in the commercial breaks, everyone just stands up and is like schmoozing and walking around and saying hi to each other. Or like you go out to the bar outside where you first came in, and like people are coming out to get a drink, or there was a Cold Stone booth and a Baja Fresh booth, And so you go over there to get some food or like whatever, and there's like people hanging out. So basically, you're seeing like a who's who of Hollywood and the music industry, and it's pretty crazy. I'm not one to do selfies, so I didn't do any of that. But if you look at my social media, you'll see I took like a lot of photos of like Ryan Gosling or Kevin Feige or Phil Lord, Matt Boomer, Paul Giamatti, like a lot of people. John, it was basically nutty. But for just to let you know, and I know I've been talking for a while, I didn't go up to many people at any tables, but I did do it once, and I went up and said hi, introduced myself to Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas, because I'm a huge fan of their work. And when else am I going to meet or talk to Billie Eilish? You know what I mean? So I
We're not
did that.
music critics, so probably not very often.
Never. I'm happy to report they were super nice. And like I said, everyone there is in a good mood and happy and friendly. And it was like, it was, I won't lie, it was pretty cool. Even if I had to wear a tuxedo.
You know what? I think that we as a society just need more excuses to wear tuxedos, because I like wearing tuxedos, but I'm also weird, I think.
Listen, I had a really good time, and I'm just very thankful that the Critics' Choice, awards let me in, and I'm a member, and that I was able to go, and it was a really, really fun time. It really was.
Oh, that's great. I actually would love to go someday, but we'll just have to see on that. But let's get to the actual winners, and let's talk
Sure.
about who walked away with an award. So right out the gate, I will just say right now, when it comes to films, Oppenheimer cleaned house. Like, they did a lot of big polls. They won Best Picture. They won Best Supporting Actor with Robert Downey Jr. What else? Best Acting Ensemble. I'm pulling up here. Best Director, Christopher Nolan, and on and on and on. There's quite a few. Best Cinematography, Best Editing. They won a lot. The other big winner last night was The Holdovers. They won Best Actor with Paul Giamatti, who that's a big win, I think. I think that when it comes down to Best Actor now for the Oscars, I think that it's gonna be between Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti, if I had to venture a guess.
100%.
Yeah. And just the same as when it comes to Best Actress, I think we're gonna have the Battle of the Stones. We're gonna have Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone are the two that I'm predicting on that one. Emma Stone last night won for Poor Things. Definitely a deserved win. I think she did a great job in that film.
Yeah. By the way, just to say, um, like to me, the nomination is everything because it's very hard. Like every once in a while, I'll say, okay, this movie to me is the best of the year. Like for me, Oppenheimer is the best of the year. I voted for Oppenheimer and Nolan, but often I don't have a favorite. Like I just think these are the few that I would really recommend. And with Lily Gladstone, she's phenomenal in the role. Emma Stone is phenomenal in the role. It's just also, I mean, like the nomination really is everything.
Yeah. And it's big. I think that, whichever one of them wins is going to be well deserving, and just having their name out there, as you said, is the big deal. On the television side of things, the three or the two shows that cleaned up the most were Succession and The Bear. Succession taking pretty much all of the drama awards, and The Bear taking most of the comedy awards. Beef also coming in and taking a lot of the limited series stuff and a lot of the other like side awards. So congratulations to all of them. One thing that I do want to specifically call out, the winner for best song went to I'm Just Ken from Barbie,
Yeah.
which, I mean, okay, yeah, it's a great song. But to me, what stood out about that was just Ryan Gosling's reaction to the win, because you could tell that he very much did not expect that. And I've heard that it seemed like not a lot of people in that room thought that song was going to win. They expected Billy to walk away with that one, but no. I'm just Ken. And Ryan Gosling's face and his reaction is just so memeable. And I hope that it gets turned into 1,000 GIFs that I get to spam all over our Slack channel whenever something ridiculous happens.
I'm sure it's already happening. And listen, I think the song is fantastic, but yeah, I also thought Billy was going to win.
Yeah, it seemed like most people, at least on social media, when I was, as the awards were going out, everyone was like, wait, really? It wasn't Billy, but
Yeah,
that's the
but
way
look,
these things work sometimes.
I'm Just Ken is a fantastic song. And,
It's an earworm.
Yeah, also keep in mind both songs were from Barbie. So
Yeah,
Barbie was winning either way.
it's true. So, but anyways, that's our show for today. That's all of our topics. Steve, anything exciting coming up here shortly?
We're going to Sundance on Thursday, but I'm doing this Queen Montreal concert that is in IMAX on Wednesday night, and I think I'm gonna have some more tickets. So I put it on Twitter already. But if you're watching and you're in LA and you want to attend on Wednesday night, it's going to be incredible watching. It's only in theaters for a few days. Go to the site or go to my social media, Collider Frosty. You'll get a link on Twitter or Threads to the article, and RSVP because I think I'm gonna have more seats, and you can see the concert film for free and in a spectacular IMAX theater. But then in Sundance, we'll be there on Thursday, and a ton of interviews.
I am super excited about Sundance. I'm actually a little bit worried right now because my state is an ice cube. We were talking about this a little bit before the show. So there's I'm a little bit not entirely sure if flights are even going to be going out. But I really, really hope so, because I've been looking forward to Sundance since you actually got me invited to go. So I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have some fantastic coverage that you can check out on Collider.com. You can go over to Collider.com for all sorts of great coverage and great information, and all of the details about any upcoming screenings and things of that nature. You can find that there. You can find it on Steve's social media and all that great stuff. Just go ahead and just check out the website. Just peruse around for a little bit. Give us some of that ad revenue, please. But anyways, that's all that we have for today's show. We're gonna be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat place. But until then, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you later.